Hi everyone, welcome back to Itel Kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me here today. For this video, I feel like sharing with you guys 3 of the foods that I noticed in my past that affected my anxiety in a negative way, and 3 foods to replace those 3 foods, right, that do affect my anxiety in a really positive way. So daily we eat, and sometimes we're not paying attention to the food that we're eating, and we're not paying attention to how it makes us feel, our bodies feel, and how our bodies react to the food that we're eating. One of these foods for me was coffee. Somehow along the way I developed a habit for drinking this beverage. I am a lover of warm beverages. I like to be really chill and relaxed and just have some tea sometimes, read a book. I developed this habit of drinking coffee, and coffee has such a beautiful aroma. As in Jamaica here, we're known for our coffee, our specialty brand of coffee. It has such a strong, flavorful taste that it is easy for you to get drawn to it, and the scent of it is beautiful as well. And I believe that is why in the first place I got kind of hooked to this beverage. But after a while I noticed in myself, after becoming very mindful of the food that I'm eating, I noticed the ways in which coffee would affect me. First of all, it affected my emotions in a way where it can take my emotions from 0 to 100 really quick, and there's somehow not an in-between, because it does get you to be a little bit hyper. So your heart, and it speeds up your heart rate. So coffee has been used in a lot of treatments. It's good to increase circulation in the body. So these things do happen. So your heart rate starts to speed up, you're sweating, you're jittery, you're not focused. At least for me, that is what it felt like most of the time. And I was going through a phase where I was going through a little bit of anger, and it's like I couldn't see through why I was just so easy to snap. And for me, the minute I actually stopped, I decided to just give coffee a little break, because I've been reading about it and hearing that it's really it's not good for sensitivity, for people that are very sensitive like myself. I would say I'm a sensitive person, right? So I stopped drinking coffee, and I realized that I have a better response rate. So there's a little bit more time in between me and how I respond to people, because I'm more calm and more relaxed. I don't have this in my system. And I realized I really didn't need it. It was more of just the essence of it that I really loved having, right? And so, speaking of which, I want to introduce you to 2 of the other beverages that I do like to have in place of coffee at this time. The first one is sage. For me, drinking sage tea, it gives me a lot of calm and serenity and peace. It feels to me like water and earth mixed together. So it gives you that feeling of relaxation. And here I'm going to list and share with you some of the health benefits of sage. This is a really good tea to have, okay? So sage has within it vitamins B and C. Sage is good for anemia. It helps in treating your fatigue or your depression. It helps with urinary infection. It reduces the amount of oil on your skin. It is good for your gum and teeth, and it is also good for circulation, but maybe without all the added anxiety, right? The second tea that I like to have in place of coffee is chamomile tea. Chamomile is also beautiful. It's very relaxing, and I find that chamomile is kind of rejuvenating as well. And here I'm going to list and share with you some of the benefits of drinking chamomile tea. So chamomile is good for your digestive system. It is good for insomnia, so it will help you to get to sleep better at night. and I found that it does help for me. You drink a nice warm cup of chamomile tea at night and just, you know, drift off. It gives your skin a nice glow, so it does have components in it that maybe lighten your skin and give you a little bit of glow. It's good for anxiety, and it is anti-inflammatory. So the second food that I noticed that affects my anxiety is white processed food, like white bread. So even though I love to have bread, I try to stay away from white bread, because I noticed that when I do eat white bread, it makes me feel weighed down and heavy and grumpy, and my attitude is not normally very open and free, you know, because I feel like all of the processed food, all of the processed products that are found within white bread, like the processed flour, processed sugar, and sometimes even it has dairy in it, is really not good for someone that is sensitive. For sensitive people, we need to be clear and free and more open, you know. And processed food, sometimes it blocks your third eye, and it blocks the wisdom. It blocks your connectivity with nature, because it's not natural food, you know. It's so processed, it's just heavily weighed down in your body. So this for me is how I felt, weighed down and like grumpy and miserable, and it's like it's like you can't greet somebody so well, because it almost not even have the energy and the vibrancy inside your own self in order to give that to someone. So in order to create this space within myself, what I like to have to replace white food is whole grains, you know, whole grains, the whole brand. It's unprocessed, so it does have within it all the essential nutrients that we need. So it, you know, processed flour, you actually take away the essentials from the grain and you just bleach it out, and it's left with almost nothing in it. So eating whole grain is 100% better than eating white flour. And this is not just with white flour, it is with white bread and white rice, white rice and white sugar, right? Anything that is so heavily processed and bleached. Yes, I like to have sweet potato in place of that. Sweet potato lowers the risks of cancer. It has a good amount of fiber in it, like the whole grain does, which clears your intestinal tracts, so it helps you to have greater digestion, right? So it keeps you light, and it is an antioxidant. So antioxidants are what keeps your skin looking healthy and glowing, and your heart health, you know, up and running, and gives you vibrancy. So these are the foods that we need to be putting into our vibrant temples. The third food that I find that affects my anxiety is dairy products, right? So dairy products, the way I notice they affect me, I haven't really called myself lactose intolerant, but I do know that it affects me in a way. I'm somewhat allergic to it, and there are times when I have it, and like milk, back in the days when I used to have milk, and I would notice my skin would develop some type of rashes on them. Or when you have acne, it sometimes comes from dairy products, because dairy milk is not meant for human consumption, you know, because they have hormones in it that are not natural to the human body. So we sometimes we tend to react to these foods in a way that is not bringing out our best self, you know. So in place of dairy milk, you can have some coconut milk, and I'm going to share with you the benefits of coconut milk. So coconut milk has tons of fatty acids, so you don't have to worry about, you know, not getting your healthy fats. Coconut milk has tons of healthy fats in it. It is good for your heart health. It promotes strong bones. It is good for arthritis pains. It helps with your digestion. It has copper and iron in it. Coconut milk boosts your immunity, so you know you don't get sick as easily, and you're more in tune to your environment, so you don't really pick up a lot of what is going around in your environment, right? And also almond milk is good as well to replace dairy milk. So almond milk is high in calcium, super high in calcium, so it's good for digestion. It has vitamin E in it, so it's good for your hair and your skin. And like coconut milk, almond milk also has great fatty acids in it. And the coconut milk also helps you to balance your weight as well, so you're not overweight or you're not underweight, you're just always like at a balanced weight, which is your natural weight or your natural way to be. And that is it. 3 foods that affect my anxiety, and the 3 different foods that I use to combat my anxiety or help me to improve the conditions of my anxiety. Living with anxiety is not really easy, and sometimes you can't really see through it, and sometimes we can't see through it because of the foods that we're putting inside of our bodies. We're not able to think clearly or to really understand what we need and how to function best. So one tip is just to be mindful of yourself, mindful of the food that you're eating and how it makes you feel. We have to really pay attention to how the food that we eating make us feel. We can't really sit down in a denial and say, oh, it's just food. It's not just food, it's more fuel to keep us going and living strong, healthy lifestyles, right? And as a bonus, I want to add that what also affects my anxiety is not eating at all, so or being dehydrated. So another tip is to always remain hydrated. Our body is over 70% water. We're just fluid beings, so we need to always top up with good vibrant water, some alkaline water, not water that is filled with chemicals in it, but some good alkaline water, some good purified water, or some spring water is great for your body. So I like to keep hydrated. If I'm not hydrated, I'm going to be miserable and grumpy. Not good, not good, not good. And if I don't eat on time, right? So we need to always take care of ourselves as sensitive beings, and just as earthlings, you know, just vibrate higher all the time. And we do that by the way we put our food in our body and the attention that we're paying to how the food in our body makes us really feel. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure, you know, to share this, because as I said, we grow and we learn, and it is okay to share the things that we learn and overcome, so that, you know, because I'm still learning. Thanks for joining me. Blessed love to you. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful life, you know. Eat well, walk good.